Hi everybody, this is Dino from Prehistoric Facts. This is a Q&A episode, so let's actually get right to it, shall we? Start with the YouTube questions. And so we got Lootzilla, we got some 5 questions right here. Smilodon would have the agility and also the power necessary to actually take down the dire wolf. Now, those two animals did actually coexist with each other, and of course they would probably avoid each other majority of the time, and so we'll probably would never know how much of the time that they did fight for like any food or territory whenever things got pretty hard for them to actually survive. But I would probably say the Smilodon because it's bigger and also it's got the strength and the agility. So I would actually have to go with Smilodon in that one. All right, Jody from Kentucky. Could Dromaeosaurus have a social hierarchy similar to that of ostriches, and could sauropods rear up on their hind legs? Well, to your first question, could Dromaeosaurus have a social hierarchy similar to that of ostriches? Well, ostriches actually have a pretty interesting social hierarchy. Like, yeah, you have one male, and then you actually have multiple females around in that kind of social group. And of course, ostriches don't actually have really huge groups. They actually kind of have like a medium-sized groups because of their size, and also they actually would need a lot of food in order for them to actually survive in. And could they actually have that? Possibly, it's a possibility. I would think they would probably be a little bit more intelligent than ostriches in certain ways, because ostriches would not actually be able to hunt for food. Of course, they're mostly going to be herbivores and occasionally they'll be insects. But dromaeosaurs would probably more likely kind of actually almost work cohesively, kind of almost like wolves do. It's just that they're not going to be as intelligent as wolves, but they're actually going to try to drive the prey to exhaustion and pretty much actually have like multiple members actually kind of make devastating wounds, let the animal bleed, and then pretty much once the animal is actually exhausted from blood loss, then pretty much, yeah, you actually have themselves a meal. And could sauropods rear up on their hind legs? Maybe. I would probably say like the Diplodokids could possibly do it, but I would say probably not as much as what we actually would expect, because first and foremost, the center of his gravity is actually going to keep pulling him down, and so when they try to rear up on their hind legs, I would probably say that, like say if they were going to knock down trees or anything, which probably never not happen very often at all, the gravity is actually going to keep pushing him down, and so that would pretty much actually not be very ideal for them. I think the males are more likely to actually do it a little bit more often because they probably have the strength necessary in their hind legs to actually do it. Females probably didn't have to do it as much. So that would actually be the only reason that I can actually say that could any of them actually be rear up on their hind legs. Males can, females not very much. I'd say the brachiosaurs probably actually did not have to do it all the time, because I think during the mating season they had to, mainly the males. Brachiosaurus would not be able to do it, even all the brachiosaurs in general. And Brendan from Morris, New York. Do you think theropod dinosaurs, such as Tyrannosaurus, Dromaeosaurus, and Carcharodontosaurus, would have similar pack hunting strategy as modern predators do, and could theropod dinosaurs have cared for their young, abandoned their nests, or both? So to your first question, could certain theropod dinosaurs actually have similar pack hunting strategies as some modern predators do? A little bit. I would say with like the large carnivorous dinosaurs, like the Carcharodontosaurs and the Tyrannosaurs, and even Allosaurs for that general. I think those kinds of dinosaurs would have the similar strategies like say lions do, because you see lions would actually have the younger members of the pride actually kind of chase the prey towards the adults. The adults would actually have the strength and also the biting power necessary to actually make the kill. Now, as for dromaeosaurs, I would probably say they almost are like wolves. Like in the question earlier, I'd say they have a very similar thing to wolves, is to kind of have the prey get exhausted and point where it can't actually run that much anymore till it's actually cornered and pretty much it has to defend itself. Pretty much to actually kind of actually try to make sure that a lot of the pack members could actually kind of stay away a little bit longer. But yeah, I would probably say that some probably did, but I would think it would probably be like in their own way of actually how they can actually do things, how they can actually hunt in a pack. And could theropod dinosaurs have cared for their young or abandoned them or both? I would say most theropod dinosaurs probably cared for their young. Of course, they're not going to have huge nests, like say they're going to have like 100 hatchlings that actually hatch at the same time. That would not happen because first and foremost, if you're a predator, you're not going to need that much young to actually take care for. And so I would say they probably are more likely like birds, is just pretty much to care for their young. I would say the only dinosaurs that I can actually see probably abandoning their young would probably be the sauropods, even though some sauropods could actually care for their young, especially when the young are actually old enough to actually be part of the herd. So probably by 5 years old, they could actually be part of the herd. Whereas, like, say, hatchling to 5, they have to be on their own a little bit more. And so those will probably be the only dinosaurs that I can see abandoning their young a little bit more, abandoning their nests. But theropods would actually take care of their young, because I do not see them abandoning their young. I think they would not allow their young to actually be abandoned, especially because see crocodiles tend to usually see sea turtles abandon their young. They're one of the few reptiles that actually do that. Even snakes actually do it too. Even some lizards, they'll actually abandon their young. Even though dinosaurs are part of the reptilian family, I just do not see that kind of behavior in terms of theropod dinosaurs. I think they're just too similar to birds to actually abandon their young. Even though there are some birds that do abandon their young, it's very rare that happens. But most birds actually do take care of their young, and so I would say most theropods actually took care of their young. All right, that's it for now. Next week would actually be a special episode. I'll let you guys know what kind of prehistoric animal I'm going to talk about. So stay tuned for that on Facebook, and you can actually check that out. And if you got any questions about dinosaurs or any other prehistoric life, feel free to email me at dinochrist71@gmail.com. Or go to my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris. Like the page, you actually post your questions on the wall or in the comments section. And also for YouTubers out there, feel free to give the video a like and also subscribe to the channel, because that helps me out a lot. And also put your questions in the comments section. But remember, keep it at least 2 to 3 questions at a time. I can't read if you post 10 questions. I can't read them all. I would have to pick up at least a certain random amount to actually read. And so make sure to keep your questions short and to the point. You can also follow me on Twitter at CSGRALL, or it's my Twitter page. I post pretty cool stuff on there. Also, take care of the people around you. And also for younger people out there, make sure to listen to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. It's the best motivation you can have for good education. It's very important to have good education. With a good education, and get a good job in the future. And I wanted to post this. I want to actually ask you guys this question. Do you want me to actually do an extra episode about certain news things that are coming out of paleontology? Because the past couple of weeks, it's been like blown up in paleontology news. And so I'll leave you guys to that question. Do you want me to do an extra episode about certain new discoveries that have been going on the past couple of weeks? I'll look at every single one of them, and I can actually give you my opinion on what I think about these journal articles and all that sorts of stuff. So, all right, that's it for now, and I'll see you guys next week.